let's talk about this. Right. Do your Christmas shopping in charity shops? According to a new survey by Oxfam, a quarter of us will be buying pre-loved gifts this Christmas to save money and be more environmentally friendly. I found myself doing it, actually, not at a charity shop, on Facebook Marketplace. It was an hour and a half round trip, though, to get this particular set of Lego, so I'm not sure how environmentally friendly that particular escapade was. Would you be happy, though, with some pre-loved presents? Simon Fake, our reporter, has been to a few charity shops in Sheffield to find out.
I love charity shopping, op shopping, yeah. I mean, you never know. You can't go with a shopping list. You can go with thoughts in mind.
Doug, like many of us, is turning to his local charity shop this Christmas.
But you're not going to come here going, I definitely need to get a fondue set. Or you might well get a fondue set. You know, you can't come with anything in mind. But if you've got a little mental list of things you might like to find, you will likely find one of them.
I started in this industry in the 80s.
Wow. Gail Ragg has worked in the charity industry for 40 years. She runs the Bernardo store on Abbeydale Road.
Well, in the 80s, my children used to say, don't tell anybody you work for a charity, Mum. They hated it. They were embarrassed. And they were worried in case somebody thought the clothes they were wearing were from the shops. Now it's trendy to shop in charity shops. And obviously we have vintage as well.
Hi, I'm Flo. I'm 23 and I live here in Sheffield. I am a marketing and sales manager in the textile and sustainability news environment. I think that charity shopping is an extremely easy way to take that step towards being a little bit more sustainable. There's a lot of arguments, of course, in my work about whether it's up to the consumer or bigger organisations.
What do you mean by that when you say it's a bit more sustainable?
So, in my opinion, I know that the EU is in crisis at the minute with the sustainability world. There's too much second-hand clothing. There's too much clothing as a whole, of course. But with fast fashion moving forward as it is, for example, Shein and Pretty Little Thing, for example, these items are largely made of polyester. So while the thread will break after a few wears, the polyester will never biodegrade in our lifetime, of course, anyway. So I think charity shopping really gives you an opportunity, being a student in the past few years, of course you're on a bit more of a budget and you can really find better quality items, in my opinion, for cheaper because they tend to be older, and that's where we sort of cared more about the clothes that we manufacture.
On Ecclesall Road, about, I'd say, 12 years ago, I managed to get a Louis Vuitton handbag and matching purse. The handbag was £6, the purse was £3. It was still wrapped up with all the keys and everything.
Did you go take it to the counter sort of tentatively thinking there's got to be a joke in?
No, I just thought it were fake. But I actually looked it up, looked all the serial numbers up and everything, and it were worth a fortune. Still got it.
By the way, if you think charity shops are still small, cluttered shops, perhaps an old lady behind the counter doing the knitting, you haven't been to St Luke's on Kilnaway Retail Park in Sheffield. It's been open 3 weeks. It is massive. Jenny Booth is head of retail.
I mean, our job is to, be very loyal to the donor. So we have a responsibility to the very kind people who are donating to make sure that we get the best price for the stock that they're giving to us. But ultimately, it's for the patient care, the patient and family support. We look after about 1,800 patients in Sheffield every year. Some of those are in our hospice and some of them are out in the community. Chances are there'll be nurses in this location today visiting one of our patients. So we have to raise £14 million in order to provide that service, and 10 million of that we have to raise ourselves. So yes, it's very important that we do have our business commercial heads on, and we're making sure that we're not only loyal to the donor in terms of getting the best money, but also, to deliver the patient care we need.
Just more saxophone, please, on everything, if we can have that. That was Simon Thate reporting there. Let's talk now to Jane Cartwright from the Charity Retail Consultancy, which was founded here in Yorkshire. Lovely to talk to you this morning. Charity shops, they're a huge part of our high streets, and for a long time it was kind of viewed as, there's another charity shop, and a bit of there was sort of stigma wasn't there, around charity shops. I wonder if you think that's changed with this kind of newfound excitement when it comes to shopping and buying pre-loved items.
Completely. I think I've been in the sector since leaving university at 21. I started as an Oxfam shop manager, and people used to come in and say, I don't want it in an Oxfam bag. Give me my new item in this old bag instead. Whereas now people are just so proud to buy from charity shops. They show off. They do that for all sorts of reasons. Everything is more affordable. As one of your contributors just said, the quality is going to be so much better on the whole than anything that comes through the fast fashion chains. It's so sustainable. You know, where people are donating things and then they're buying things in the same environment, the same town. So it's, you know, the carbon footprint is so low. So you get the affordable, you get the sustainable, but also you know that you're helping a local charity. And everybody wants something unique. You know, everybody doesn't want to look like a clone of everybody else walking down the road. They want to have their own style. And so you go to charity shops and that's what you get.
I've always been up for buying my own things, you know, from charity shops. But I think it's only in the last few years where I've thought, you know, I would buy something that was second hand as a gift for someone. And I wonder if you think there's been a sea change in that particular arena, because it does feel different getting something that's second hand for someone else.
Yes. Sorry, you went quiet there. Yeah, absolutely. For the last few years, we've bought so many of our family and friends' presents, all from charity shops, very proudly. You know, because I bought my brother a beautiful Scandi jumper a few years ago, and it was, you know, he absolutely loved it, and it was in really good condition. Charity shops don't sell rubbish; they don't sell tat. So, you know, as part of our consultancy work, we're there to help them raise their game. We're there to help them make sure that what the customers want, they're going to get. So, you know, so the quality of the stuff is good. The condition is good. They'll repair things if it's worth doing. They'll clean things if it's worth doing. They'll steam all the clothes, you know. So they know that people have high expectations. People go shopping on the high street and they want the same experience with the stock, with the environment, with the customer service in a charity shop as they would in any commercial high street shop as well.
The only thing I would say is that it's not, you know, if you're looking for something specific, you know, going charity shopping, it's more of a kind of mindful, it's that sort of old school. I'm just going to have a little wander around and see what tickles my fancy and what I like. You can't go, right, I really need a red jumpsuit for Friday. I'm going to hit Oxfam and see what... You can't do that, you know, and you have to sort of get into a different mindset.
You do. But I think that's what proper retail therapy is all about. It's the surprise of the trip. You know, you don't know what you're going to come back with, but just be open-minded and look at the other coloured jumpsuits, you know. You can do that. But what you can also do is just be, as well as being mindful and kind of slowing that process down and enjoying it, if you really want that red jumpsuit, then just go online and just go on eBay or Vinted or Depop or, you know, some of the charity's own shopping sites. And you can look for those things, and then you can choose to buy them online as well, because 90% of charity shops are selling online now.
Well, I was going to say actually about the rise of things like Vinted, which if you're listening, if you've not heard of it, you know, it's an app and people sell second hand on there. And actually, for, you know, I'm going to be honest here, I sell most of my kids' clothes on Vinted, and I buy most of my kids' clothes and also quite a lot of my own clothes on Vinted. I wonder if that is dented, has impacted charity shops. The fact that you've got the kind of convenience of online, but it's secondhand, so it's cheaper. Has that impacted the charity sector?
It has, in that, you know, it's for a lot of people, they don't have a huge amount of time to go shopping on the high street. It's much easier to shop online, isn't it, and have things delivered to you. So that has impacted, but that's why charities need to just keep upping their game all the time. Whatever's going on with commercial, they need to be replicating within the charity. So like I say, you know, most charities now have a presence online. So they're selling to they're selling to their local market, but they're selling to a global market as well. So, you know, everybody's a winner that way. But what I would say, Kat, is please think of your local charity shops next time you're selling on Vinted, because I know times are tough for everybody, but the difference that it can make, and especially if you're a UK taxpayer, you can gift aid your donation. So that's an extra 25% in every pound that that item is worth, that then goes straight back to the charity. And it is a really tough time for charities, and it will be. You know, the national insurance changes, the whole, you know, the energy costs.
Goodness.
Charities have to pay the same rent as everybody else. You know, they don't get as much back as some people think. So, you know, the work they do is so vital.
We sold a lot of my nan's furniture through, I think it was the British Heart Foundation, and every time they made a sale for, we got a little letter saying, you know, your donation has raised so far X amount, and it was really, it just felt so wonderful to know that you were doing that. It's been really lovely to talk to you. Thank you so very much. And I'll tell you what, Jay, my top tip is, if you've ever got a kid that's going, I want this, I want that, I always take my kids to the charity shop, and they get a little budget, and it's a way of them getting a little toy or a book. Fantastic books at charity shops, absolutely brilliant. I've got like kids encyclopedias and things like that would cost, you know, hardback books that would cost like 20 quid a pop, and I've got them for a couple of quid. It's just absolutely fantastic. So we once a week I take my little kids to the charity shop, and they can get a little treat, and there's some fantastic things there.